A very warm welcome to The Wedding Tales, a show where we educate our youths on matters dating, marriage, and family life. Let us take you back quite a bit. How was your dating journey? How long did you date? How was it?
It's like we dated for less than a year. Actually, it was 6 months because we started talking much in 2011 December, and by 2012 March alikuwa ameenda kwetu.
Much of why we have young relationship breaking up even before they start is because one of the mistakes people do is that they take too long thinking that they are knowing each other. What exactly are you running up and knowing about each other? You have a whole life to know each other, and let me assure you, even some of these couples you see at their deathbed, they have not even known each other.
Okay, that's nice to know. How was the proposal?
Hey, Mambo Esther, well, akuwa gumu. Just before she says it, maybe a caution to the young people today. We put more emphasis on the proposals than not even the wedding. Even we don't think about the marriage. I've heard stories. I know some will disagree with me on the same, but I usually say be conscious because, well, so how was it?
Oh, it came a time aliniambia tu we go for a coffee, and we had a cake, a small cake, and hapo ndio engagement ring ilikuwa. I didn't sikuwa nime-expect, but ali have to kukata, mimi nilikata, nikaona that ring, and akaniambia I want to start life with you. Yeah, and that was my engagement.
Hey, okay.
Make it simple, make it fun. Don't go beyond your means, because again, what will happen after that? Of course, anaweza akalia alafu akwambia I'm sorry. So you also need to have some sort of shop as for the boy child, yeah?
Umeita kila mtu alafu kama.
Umeita kila mtu alafu anasema sikukuwa serious na hiki tu. So you also need to know at what particular point do you propose, yeah?
So we've had the story of the dating journey, the proposal. Now let's go to the wedding process, the marriage. You know, some people prepare so much of how the wedding will be and forget to prepare about their marriage and, you know, the things you need to consider before you get married. So how do you prepare yourself for marriage life?
Well, it's a hard question, how you prepare yourself. Basically, one, I would want to say that you need to first of all prepare yourself personally into the journey of marriage, because marriage is work. And just as you go to school, get a course, and because you're focused to be on this line of particular professionalism, then you need to personally prepare yourself. You need to be ready for marriage before you join with another person who is also preparing themselves to be ready for marriage. But that notwithstanding, then, of course, we'll have to think about the things that have to be done, the must-dos before maybe the wedding and the marriage, of course. Like the visits to the parents for the blessings, and of course, carrying the traditional aspect into the Christianity, because you have to first of all get the blessings of the parents before you come for the blessings in the church. And so that's also a journey, meeting new parents, engaging in what we call the dowry, which young people are really afraid of nowadays, I hear. that wanastuka sana. But it's part of life. It's part of that engagement. As long as it's not a business conception of it, it is an appreciation concept where you go meet the parents, get an opportunity to know that you will not only be thinking about your own parents, but here comes another group of parents which require to be appreciated as parents. And so the journey was a fun journey, and to me, I enjoyed. I got a very good reception with my in-laws. We got to create a relationship where I still find, even today, having lost my mom a few years down the line after our wedding, I still have a mother that we have a relationship with. We can talk. She can call, you know, without the barriers of she has to call the daughter before she calls me. Yeah. Yes, she calls me and then calls the daughter. So it feels good to be in that journey of preparation to the big day. As you said, again, much emphasis sometimes is put on the wedding than preparing yourself for the marriage. And as I said, you need to be prepared to invest in getting the knowledge you require to move on. For instance, people wonder, what do I have to go for premarital counseling for? Basically, you may think that the world, and Google for that matter, has all the answers. But it's always good to have an experience, to have a word from people who have gone through the journey, so that you know how to be able to do that. So I usually advise young people, it's not just about your wedding looking mwah, and people enjoying and dancing and feeling. It's part of it. The bigger goal is, how do you live after that? Do you do a big wedding today and tomorrow you cannot face each other? Because after the makeup, the question is, after the makeup, we ask the big question. Does that person still please you? Do you feel butterflies even after, without the makeup? Because remember, all this journey has to between when you met and the day that person comes to your house. You only meet when you are prepared. Yeah. You only meet when you're prepared. You know, I have a date today, so lipstick. You know, I have to make sure my hair is well. Saa zingine baka nineka kadai. So I only meet with her when I'm very prepared. Wait until that day. Ataamuka tu, alafu tunapatana tu kwa corridor. Ha! And then unashinda. Okay, ni wewe ama si wewe. So you need to prepare yourself. And no, it's just not about the appearance. It's about more than that. It's not just about the sizes. Yeah, you know, the ladies will be in very good shapes, and wait until the children come along and the shape changes. Is this the same person who, you know, you have to change with that. So the preparation for the wedding is important. But investing in this, I say, investing for your marriage is also very important. Okay. What do you say?
I would like to say that marriage is a journey. Na sometimes watu usahau prepare for the do I say for the wedding or for the marriage? For the wedding, unajipata you want to do bigger things, forgetting that you are stepping into a journey you want to start, na that one day yenye unaplania, watu watakuja, they will have fun, watakuletea whatever they will bring, but at the end of the day it is you and your spouse. Yeah, na hapo ndo unajuanga yes, kweli watu wote wameenda, tumebaki sisi wawili, what next? So sometimes it's good not to please people, and sometimes it's good to think about future. Yeah.
How is the Roracio?
Hey, the honeys, the negotiations, yeah? Rudini nyuma mukikujaga. You know, as I said earlier, I think I got I got to engage or to kuwa ule msee amependwa na wazazi way even before we started this. My journey was smooth. I would say my journey was smooth. We had the inches here and there, but basically not something that would say was a challenge for us and especially for me as a man as I went through this journey. But one thing was so clear in my mind, so clear even before I started. I think with the engagement of the people I talked with, that they made it so clear that this is a journey you are starting. You know, we have a misconception that Roracio is a payment of something, or you are going to buy something. You know, she's not a property in my house. She is a co-partner in this journey of marriage. So with that conception, whatever you have, whatever you have organized becomes part of you, it won't trouble you, because you know it's a journey that is continuous. And even after the wedding, you know, the parents remain to be there. And so to me, it was a smooth sailing. I had fun. I had fun in it. Yes, in all those. But the major part of the fun, ni ile sijui kama muliamua ni culture. Ile lazima mfunikwe. Halafu utafute mtu hapo ndani. So sometimes I wonder ukimeka mistake usahau kuchagua wako, hapo sasa noma inatokea, but saa zingine ni kamera gani yako ile kine you tell the boy child ibiwa siri kidogo tu, halafu hapo unaenda unajichocha kabisa, ni kama unajua ni nani. You have to be wise in this thing. Lazima utafute kamwa Kenya kadogo in all these things. Yeah.
Okay. The people who really struggle when it comes to planning the wedding, and you know, there are some things you can't avoid. Lazima kutakuwa na some hiccups here and there during the wedding planning. Did you encounter any when you were planning for your wedding? Or it was smooth sailing?
Well, basically because most of the times the weddings are done by, it's much more the side of the man who struggles to do these things. One, I usually advise people, have a ring of your friends who you are sure about and who you can walk together in this life. Me, I was blessed. I was a youth chair. I had mentored a number of people in life. So let me assure you that, one, my committees were so lovely, because I had people who came, and even if they had 10 shillings, it was very important to them to be there. Because money, it's not, the wedding is not about the money so much, as in do you have people willing to see it beautiful and to see it happening. Because so many times you can even have money, but you don't have friends around you. That would be a very big challenge. But yes, we have quite a number of things that happen in between. Umetafuta service provider, alafu amepata kadil kapoa kuliko kako, amekutoka hivyo tu.
Last minute.
Last minute. Sasa ni lazima utafute mwingine. Ama umetafuta ka venue kako kasupu, alafu all of a sudden uliona hiyo venue 3 months ago and you agreed. Going at the last weeks or 2 weeks to the event, unakuta ujui ni nini walifanya, hakuna nyasi. So these things happen. Again, of course, planning a wedding. Sometimes we want to do the planning, and sometimes you don't have the time. So if in that scenario, sometimes I usually say, just look for an event planner. Somebody will share your dream and what you desire to see. Then from there, then they can be able to help you to organize everything and bring everything together. And but at the end of the day, it's also very important to do these things early enough, so that you don't keep on rushing at the last minute when you don't have the enough time. Yeah. Now, sometimes it's good that we realize how amazing it is when God gives you someone who cannot run away from you even when you have shortcomings. Maybe just Esther to mention this, I did my wedding when I had a fracture and I was in crutches. And it happened almost the few last weeks of our wedding. And I was from my own committee meeting. I was rushing to another meeting. And I got my leg in a hole. And I broke my leg. I still had work to do because I had a national youth conference coming in. And I was a national youth chair. And I went all the way to Chogoria with my broken leg. Only for the doctors to tell me that I have to have a plaster. Do you know how it feels? Ukiekwa hiyo mawe and your wedding is in 2 weeks. After that, I tried to go to all hospitals who could advise me kama wanaweza kaitoa hiyo siku, nifanye wedo, niimbe mugithi. You know how important mugithi is, yeah? For a wedding, yeah? Niimbe mugithi, and then in the evening, I'll go back and have the casts returned. And I was told it cannot be possible. So you see, still got married to this man with a cast. And maybe no one, well, we even never told a lot of people, yeah? Yeah, we didn't want people to get worried, yeah? So even the camera people thought we were joking that particular day. Yes, so, you know, when God gives you the right person in your life, then even when you go through the challenges, they are able to walk with you. Because at one point, I asked her, and some of our mentors asked, do we postpone the wedding? Alikuwa nasikia atakuja kwa test jo. Asema no, wacha kaende tu hivyo. So that happens. And you know, I am grateful even today, because that could not be an easy journey if you didn't have someone who would have, you know, walk with you and stick with you very close.
So how do you manage to solve the conflicts within the household?
Okay. I'm the quiet lady and I'm a bit shy. And sometimes ataongea nimenyamaza. For example, maybe na kitu lazima tuongee kuhusu. Mimi ni ule mse nitanyamaza tu nikuangalie, you talk, then see ati I'm ignoring you. I don't have that courage to talk when he's talking. So ni ile nitalize, alafu kama ni place ya kurekebisha, I'll do that. If ni place siezi, I'll just speak I'll just speak out and tell him no, I won't. But before nikuwe na hiyo college, I used to talk with text. But as time goes, amenifunza. Anaweza muongelesha kwa text, hayuko hapo. Maybe ameenda mahali na ameacha simu, and there is something I want to communicate. Na mimi niko zile za nilimtumia text hajibu. Nitajam. So jioni akikuja ni ile nilituma text. Mimi I'm assuming nilimtumia text na amesoma. So maybe yeye hakusoma. Ni ile amekuja home ako jovial. Nashindwa sasa huyu ni nini namsumbua. Yaani kitu niliandika kwa text inakuja kukua opposite na vile nataka afanye. So I would like to say that amenifunza kufanya vitu vingine. So mpaka kufika to that point ati tunaweza ongea na to solve that problem. Lakini kitambo singeweza. Ningenyamaza tu na imeza tu inanikula. But now we don't have ati ile ataongea ninyamaze. No.
The greatest wealth or treasure in a marriage is communication. Regardless of how you do the communication, you need to realize that communication is very important. And this is not just in marriage, but in any relationship. Even when it comes to parents, children relationship, the greatest wealth, the greatest point to treasure therein is the communication aspect. Because when you create a barrier in the communication, then you drift apart. As much as you are together, as much as the world sees you happy and enjoying and everybody saying, wow, a great couple, you drift apart because there is no communication. And active communication then calls for an understanding. And that is how you can resolve conflicts because, as I said, this is a journey. So how do you expect to go for a journey without encountering conflicts? And of course, she was brought up in a different place from me. The values might have been different. She might be have been told on how to cook ugali in a different manner than I was told on how to cook ugali. All these things. And when people talk about conflict in marriage, for instance, Esther, they think that conflict is born out of very major things. Conflict inakujaga sababu ya infidelity. Those no. Conflict come even in the small way that you are cooking tea not the way I was taught to cook tea. It's a conflict. If it is not resolved in the right manner, then it can build to other things. So on how best to do it, one is that communication is very important. Just say, talk your mind. And as she said, I discourage. Writing your mind is not talking your mind. Having a personal diary or writing a journal is not talking your mind. That is writing your mind. And maybe you may hide it. What happens if my phone crashes during the day and I'm not able to see her telling me I'm in need of your help? Kindly assist. It's an emergency. So I spend a whole day and then nakuja jioni. So how am I helping her as an emergency? What is the difference if she would have called and told me I have an emergency, call me back? So the communication is very vital, and that talking is very key. The second one is for us to realize that we have different personalities and accept it. For years, people know me. I am very talkative. I speak my mind. Genuinely, I will not hide from it, whether it's bad. Kaende. Mimi ninasemanga nasukumana nayo mpaka mwisho. So sometimes I would, and sometimes people say that God will not bring two noisemakers in the house, yeah? So when I'm a noisemaker, I have to have somebody who will listen to me. I have to appreciate that personality and know how to deal with it at her speed, not at my speed. Because sometimes that is why even young people are breaking up in their small relationship. Because you want somebody who is like so and so. You want them to change at your speed, not considering that they have different personality from you. So the aspect of us accepting the personality. Kujua yeye anakuwaga hivi ndio anapenda, hivi hapendi, na si lazima apende kenye unapenda. You have to blend. Look at that kajuice ukitengeneza home ya matunda. Unaeka pau, unaeka mandizi, unaeka avocado, but you want to take the juice. That is how marriage is. You have to blend it, and when you blend it, you have to bring out a smoothie out of it, something that will be enjoyable. First, by the two of you, and then the world. But so many people fight to make the world enjoy the glass of juice, yet they are not taking it at home. That becomes a problem. So you intend to solve the conflict one at a time, slowly by slowly, understanding each other and knowing, and where it comes to be practical, it's also a point of solving conflict. If there is something not being done the way I love it to be done, the question is, nimemsho. So why don't I get practical? Well, I love eating meat. I don't know, it's part of why I'm in Kajiado County and I'm not leaving soon. And there is a specific way I love eating my meat. She can never know how to cook it if I cannot do it personally and showcase it to her. So some of these conflict resolutions, you have also to get to be personal. Showcase it, guide it, show the way, then everything else falls into place.
Well, okay, guys, I hope really you're taking notes here because it's getting hot. So, a lot of youth nowadays are so afraid of walking into marriages, and a lot of are preferring couple stays so that kikiumana, I have the option of I have no commitments. So, what advice would you give us?
Marriage works. Na your marriage, my marriage and the other person married, it's not the same. Usijenge boma yako vile nimejenga yangu. Get into that marriage, pray God to help you and play your part. Yes.
Yeah, short and precise, but all the points are passed.
Esther, let me remind you what the Bible says. Yeah? We read the book of Proverbs, chapter 18, verses 22. It says that whoever finds a wife finds a good thing. That's part A. Then it says, and obtains favor from God. Cutting those two sentences shows how important it is to take the aspect of marriage very serious. This is not a trial and error issue where you want to step with one feet and the other one iko kando so that kikiumana uruke, utaki kuchomeka yote kuili. This is a decision you have to make, that kaende kama mbaya unless it is toxic to some extent, then will not advise you to continue being in a toxic relationship for the sake that it is just been told that you're married. But as you start it, because, I usually ask, what is come we stay? What surety do you have? And on this point, there is the conception of the world of what come we stay means. It doesn't mean that everybody who does a wedding in church, sasa yeye yake si come we stay. Yeah, and that is gonna work. Because marriage, as we said, is a journey that starts from somewhere. Is this come we stay recognized by the parents? Do they even know that you are living with a man or a woman somewhere? Because that is how marriage is all about. Because we have covered it in the concept of come we stay, as if in the Christian concept it's a sin. Let me advise you and tell every young person that the concept of marriage starts with your commitment and your acceptance of the parents. So ile day kutakujo doari kwenyu Roracio, na wazazi waseme tumembarikia hii harusi, you can go on with your plans. In the African concept, you can go home and you are married. Why we leave you at your parents' home, it's because of the Christian concept. We wait until that day, we'll bring you to the church and you'll be handed over by the pastor. Now again, blessed in the church. But when did your marriage start? Way back, when you went for those Roracio, when you went for those introduction, when you accepted the parents and there was a relationship built. That's where marriage starts.
So hapo wazazi wakisema no, it's
of course, watasema no, but they have to give you reasons. Because there are so many, they can say, mnaweza kakutania huku Nairobi Esther, na ujue mmekutana na kazini yako, na mjuani. So tukikuja home, tuseme, this relationship can't work because we want to. You also need to listen to the parents. I usually say, not on the aspect of people telling you, ati sababu huyu ni Mkalenjin, huyu ni Mkikuyu, huyu ni Mjaluo, huyu ni Muluya. That has no basis. But genuine concept, and the parents have to have the reasons for them to say that. But you now understand that marriage starts way back. It doesn't start on that wedding day after kamugi viapo, havu munambiana ati sasa tumeoana. No, when you start the journey, that is where. And much more, I remind young people that it starts at the concept of commitment. hizo proposals mnafanya hapa za madoido, you realize that God puts a mark on you when you start committing. So you don't play around even after the commitment aspect.
How do you manage your finances in your marriage?
Hey, where. Now, hey. That is one of the big challenges that come with a lot of people. Because one, you need to realize that from the word go, which finances are we talking about? And for every young person listening to this, you need to know at the point of the wedding day, the vows. You courageously say there that all that I have and all that I will have, I give to you. We need to start creating that concept of people saying what is their net worth before they say the vows. But the concept here is not even about the material money or the material possessions that people have, but the willingness to build an empire. Because when you're building an empire, then whose money is whose money? It is family money. You cannot start saying that, we live in a society where it says that your money, and especially for the ladies, you need to hear this. I don't know where you got this concept from, that your money is your money, but his money is our money. Now, which empire are you living in? Because if your money is your money, it seems then that you have a smaller empire in the bigger empire. You need to understand that if you walk into marriage, and let me assure you that marriage is like farming. Toto, if you don't like farming, be very sure that you need to look for something to liken marriage with. Because marriage is not like a business. You in a business, unaweza kaangukia tu, unaweza kaangukia. You go buy something and it is required in the market. Inunuliwe iishe. Hiyo inasemekana it is been in the right time, at the right place, doing the right business, and you become rich. Farming, hakunaga kuangukia. You have to till the land. You have to make the soil in a good condition. You have to go plant personally, and you have to go kneel down before God and ask for rain. Na kukikosa kunyesha, you have to do irrigation. You have to work for the fruits of your labor to come out. That is marriage. Every single morning you wake up, you have to remind yourself, I have a farm that is called marriage. I have to work it out. So when it comes to finances, you have also to be very careful. There is a few concepts that you have to remember. This goes to the men. As much as women have their money, that you remember that God has called you a provider. So every time you kneel before God and ask for money for providing to your family, He provides. Because He is a provider and He has given you the responsibility of providing. So from there, then you are able to know through discussion. I said communication is very important in a home. So how much do we save for a rainy day? How much do we save ya kujienjoy? How much do we secure for the futures of our children and for your own future? Here, you have to realize you will never be young forever. So you have to secure for your own future and secure for the future of your children. And of course, then be wise and creative on how to manage the finances that come around, And up and we usually tell the wives, ukipewa 100, as long as watu watakula nyumbani na walikula na mbao, hakuna mzee atakuja kukuuliza 8 ilienda wapi. You have to be a good financial manager and do everything. I said invest in yourself to do the best you can, so that you don't get 100 na kesho ukitaka mbao hata hauna, because you spent the whole 100 because si ataleta ingine jioni. The question is, akikosa anaweza kakuwa naendaga kibarua. So you have to be wise enough. The resources you get, work them well, knowing that you are not only eating for today, but you also have a future. As much as the Bible says that God cares for us, don't live like a bird. Yes, that's my take.
Okay, that was very informative and inspiring actually. Even those of us here in the crew have learned a lot. And what last words did you say to the youth and to everyone aspiring to take on this journey as we wrap up?
So what do you tell us, the youth?
Marriage is a sweet thing, and when you get married at the right time, usikimbilie,
Oh, is that the
usionje
right
huko,
side?
usionje huko na usionjane huko. You know what I mean? And when you get married to a good person, you will enjoy it. But before you get married, jiite kale kamkutano. Pray to God and tell God what you want in your life, what you want in that marriage, and I'm sure atakupatia kitu umeomba. Pray for your person, pray for your life, pray for your marriage, and when God blesses you with kids, pray for them. Na mtaishi na baraka.
Nice, because I saw I saw something somewhere, a quote that when you marry the wrong person, even the devil leaves you because he knows. Even with him being with him not being there, you're finished, like you're done. So
Very true. What business does the devil has when two people who can never be compatible together? He is wasting time. He's going to look for the people who are compatible, who he wants to destroy. Wewe anajua mulishaji destroy. So nyinyi endeleeni. You know, I don't want to mention, it's like the football matches, tunajua teams gani. Wakikutana tu kwa uwanja tuko haleluya. Hii team ni sababu ni protocol, lakini tunajua watashindwa ama watashinda. So it's very true. But I need to mention a number of things. First to the young people, that the Bible says that God has not given us the spirit of timidity, the spirit of fear, but of love and courage. Hii story ya watu kuogopa because they saw stories of toxic relationships. I want to remind every young person to remember that maji ikiwa kwa mtungi kama imejaa hainaga kelele. Until you carry ina mtungi maji ambayo iko nusu, it go dancing everywhere, it go doing everything, and it's very dangerous. So when we look at the social media and we see toxic relationship, do we even sit down and ask ourselves how many perfect marriages are out there and they are quiet and they don't need have to be shouted? So when you look, you know, it's what you feed your mind that gives a reaction. So when you keep on looking at what is toxic, then of course, and you don't look at a program like this one, yeah, and hear stories of successful marriages, then of course you start fearing as if every relationship is a toxic relationship. So you need to feed your mind with the right information. Whether you are taking it from the Google, Dr. Google, whether you are taking it from other friends, you need to feed your mind with the right information. The second thing, you need to invest in yourself. And I want to take them back in the Garden of Eden. Even Adam was not given a wife when he was, you know, not doing anything. He had been in that garden and he had been given a responsibility, so he was working. And who was the closest person to Adam at that point? God. So in the presence of God, then men need to understand and ladies need to understand, where are you searching for your partners? I don't mean here that you have to all flock the church. It's good to go to church, but I don't mean that you have to flock the church because that is where good people are. No. The Garden of Eden is not the church. The Garden of Eden is the world. So as you are in the world, what is your major relationship with God? As you look for a life partner. Because God has already declared that no one shall lack their mate. It's a beautiful promise. But are you in the presence of the giver of the promise? Because so many times we forget that. thirdly, it's good to realize that this life has to be progressive. And you cannot just imagine that you are born and so you where progress itaishia na wewe. Unakaa tu unasema mimi nilizaliwa so I cannot bring forth a generation, because no, it's life has to be progressive. You have a responsibility then as a young person to progress life, and that means a lot. Then to the young couples, enjoy your marriage when you are young, and much more, enjoy the company of your children, because these are not only gifts to you, but whatever you invest in them comes back to you. And let me tell you, one of the beautiful things I like doing is walking my children to school every single morning, whenever I have the opportunity, because it gives me time to talk to them. It gives me time to understand them, and them to know that, you know, there is hard work in life. So even if I don't have any other time, I've made a choice to enjoy that morning walk with them whenever we have the opportunity. So enjoy it. Let the children have a feeling of your love, because, you know, parents are the closest people that engage their children to the love of God. So if you are not present, then the children may lack to understand how God loves them. So that's me. And I believe that, and I hope that people will not fear to engage into this journey. It has all manner of potholes, but also let me assure you, it has the highways and the smoothness of it. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Also, thank you for just gracing us with your presence and sharing with us your journey, because it's a blessing to us and to so many youths out here. So we truly appreciate it, and may God bless you for this and in all your endeavors and everything that you do.
Amen.
So
Amen.
Thank you very much for tuning in to The Wedding Tales. It has been an amazing story, and I hope you've taken a thing or two from this. Do not forget to like our video, subscribe to our channel, that is P.C.E.A. Ongatarungayu. Also, we are on Instagram and Facebook as P.C.E.A. Ongatarungayu. It's been amazing. As always, I'm your host. My name is Astagi Sharu.